Let's go back to 2013. Look at XRP's peak at the distribution phase of Bitcoin. So we're seeing it over and over again, right? You can deny it and build a narrative and a fantasy for Bitcoin or for XRP, whatever it is that you want to do. But the reality is, at least when it comes to XRP's price, it tends to run during distribution phases and during expansion phases for Bitcoin. And then we take one step back and then we say, well, when does Bitcoin go into expansions or into distributions? And that tends to be tied with the rest of the market, right? Or at least their stock market. No. It's block reward halvings. It's 4-year magic cycles. Okay, whatever you want, man. You could see the data, but you can also see the data for XRP too. So I'm not here to build enemies. I'm not here to like get you to hate me because I'm talking like this. It's because we do have so many narratives in the market, and there's so many loud voices that have built their business around selling the ideas of these fantasies that exist out there. And I'm not just talking about XRP. I'm talking about Bitcoin. I'm talking about crypto. I'm talking about everything. And that when we don't look at the data, newcomers all sit here and buy into this stuff. Like it's crazy. But we see the data, right? The data says Bitcoin expands with the stock market performance, and XRP expands and goes into bull runs with Bitcoin expansions and distributions, right? There is no flip of the switch. There is no craziness. There is no nothing. It's all happening at very specific times in the market for XRP. Distributions, expansions, you see it all. And so we come back here. We come back to talking about this. We're done talking about that. We're not going to dive into developer activity. If you want developer activity stuff, go subscribe to the newsletter. But we come over here. We do all these Elliott wave counts on XRP. We're like, yeah, we've done them all. We've got the A, B, C, D, E's, right? And then we've got the A, B, C, D, E's. And then now we're in E. And then now we're in E with an E. And it's like, well, is it time? Is it time for something like that to happen? And it comes back to this. Is Bitcoin going to expand? Because if Bitcoin is going to expand, what is going to happen? We've seen it every time. We see that if Bitcoin expands, the altcoin market expands. And if the altcoin market expands, who else expands? This guy. This guy expands. So it goes beyond just looking at, can we count Elliott waves? Can we look at these squiggly oscillator lines and tell us if it's ready, or if we can draw trend lines and make these cool triangles that tell us, oh, we're getting super compressed and we're reaching the apex of it all, right? Those are all true. But when you remove all of it and you say, but like, when does it happen? Like when? Like it only happens during expansions and during distributions. And whether or not Bitcoin goes into expansion or whether or not Bitcoin goes into distribution, those are both favorable outcomes that have historically led to XRP price rises. So do you have the elements in the market for something like that to happen based on blockchain performance and historical data? You do. You have those elements there. And you have narratives starting to form, right? You got Ripple doing the stablecoin thing that's going to be put on the XRP ledger. You got the automatic market makers that are coming out in 2 days, right? You've got those types of things can draw the attention of the masses, which increase user activity levels. You increase user activity levels, it brings on builders because they see opportunities to make money. It sets off a positive feedback loop, and you have all those things happening at the same time. But the cold hard reality is, are we in expansion or distribution? And the reality is we have to be in one of them, right? We have to be going into expansion or distribution over here with Bitcoin, with where it's at right now. And either one of those are positive for the altcoin market and positive for the XRP price chart. So I get it. We all get beaten down. This has been a brutal range of grinding, right? But when you remove all of that and you look at it from the aspect of, look, there's only 2 ways that XRP's price ever moves. It is not secrets upon secrets. It is not flipping the switch. It is none of that stuff. It is when the price of Bitcoin expands or distributes. And regardless, one of those has to be happening, right? So if you find yourself beaten up by this range that just continues to go on and on and on and on and on, we've done the Elliott wave counts, right? This is a normal range. This is how these things happen in contractions. This is how they happen with A, B, C, Ds, and Es. But ranges are brutal because you're looking for direction, you're looking for trend, and we always say it, ranges by design are chaotic. You can't figure out an upward or downward trend when price is ranging sideways. So people just emotionally get beat up in them. So when you take a bigger look out and you look at what's going on throughout the whole cryptocurrency market and just where we're at currently right now, we look for all the positive conditions. And a lot of them are there, right? And heck, if Brad Garlinghouse is right, which I hope he is, man. He says that we're going to go to a $5 trillion market cap here in 2024. If he's right, what do you think is going to happen with this guy? So, that's hard for me to latch on to, but I can latch on to the ideas of expansions and distributions. And I see those things there throughout the market. So it gives me some optimism. And, even from an Elliott wave counter, even from someone who does crashing structures, right? I teach all about these things with crashing structures. We have all those conditions happening in here, rolling back up to wave 4. Then you set the new low. You've got all these things happening in here, but ranges just beat people up for a long time, right? But the good news is it seems pretty likely. It seems pretty good for that to be our low. But now we're just waiting to see if we can get this guy to go too, because that's been the condition that we really always need. So fingers crossed we do get it soon. And hopefully I didn't upset too many people by just talking in the way that I like to talk. As you guys know, I don't have any sponsors on my YouTube channel, and I find it that I enjoy it that way because it gives me the freedom to really talk however I want to talk. I don't have anybody I have to appease. I don't have to worry about upsetting anybody or any type of narrative that a sponsor wants, because I just kind of talk however I want and say whatever I want, and that's the freedom that I am fortunate to have. So I write newsletters and create videos, right? And if you want to learn more about my views and like data, that's how I try to do things. You can check that out over here on bcbacker.com, where there's over 40 videos and a lot of discussions here about the historical behavior of the cryptocurrency market and a lot of things that have happened, things that improved odds and tokenomics and all that emotional behavior, all that emotional management and all that good stuff over here. That's available here on bcbacker.com. Or you can find a lot of the data, developer stuff, and research, and all these audio recordings that I do over here on Substack, where I write a newsletter, and I put lots of work and lots of research into these things as well. And that's available over here on blockchainbacker.substack.com. There's links in the descriptions of each of my videos to bcbacker.com and to blockchainbacker.substack.com. But otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this view and kind of seeing when does the price of XRP move. We have a lot of the technical structures on the chart. We're super developed in an accumulation range, but what are those things that we also need? We need expansions or we need distributions, and it seems like we're on the brinks of those types of things happening throughout the market. So a reason to be optimistic and also knocking down some of the narrative walls at the same time. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to thank you so much for watching.